Well, hello and good morning from the multi-weathered season that we're having. It's been a snowy night and there's evidence here in the morning. We've got some beautiful pictures, aren't there, on Instagram showing the evidence of the snow. Good morning, Sarah. If you let me know that you're present, I can make sure that everyone feels as though the video quality and the connection is as it should be for Facebook Live. Great to see you, Lindsay. This is video 148. In this video, you will be using hand weights if you feel you want to. And that really is the fundamental question you have. Do you want to use hand weights? Video 148. So, videoing with 148, we'll use hand weights. It's the part 2 of our strength and endurance work. Find yourselves in the room. If you don't use hand weights, then don't use them. If you found the first part, which we did on Tuesday, significantly demanding for you, then stick with the first part because there's nothing to be gained by overdoing it. Good morning, Diane. In using hand weights, you're adding to the load in the upper body, but it needs to land up behind you between your shoulder blades and not in your lower back. If in using weights it lands in your lower back, you know that you're not stabilising enough, then you really should get rid of the weights. There's no point doing it. Hi Kathy, so the weights are there for those that need that little bit more because none of us have the same level of fitness or the same posture, and none of us are really the kind of same age in that regard also. The whole idea of this strength and conditioning work is that as we repeat 6 times a very similar sequence to that which we started on Tuesday in video 146, we will notice that we get stronger. The exercises you'll do today in the sequences are going to be relatively the same. The reason we're going to repeat is because as the body actually rehearses repeatedly over a period of 6 weeks, the body genuinely changes and starts to own those positions. There's no better positioning. There'll be slight tweaks always because that's obviously keeps you interested. But the positioning for the global work I'm doing, which is all of the strength endurance work, because it goes from heel to head, is the traditional stability systems you need to develop strength and to stay stronger for longer, which is the endurance side. When we work out today, make sure that you're tuning in. We will start lying on the back. I'm just waiting for people to sign in. And remember, I've said, if you're using hand weights, then it has to land across the upper back. It can't land in your lower back, and that's very posture specific. If you're lordotic, whilst you are generally stronger, the strength is only there if you can pelvic tilt, put yourself in neutral. If you're a bendy Wendy, you would only use these hand weights if you can maintain neutral and not collapse into what we call your kind of rounded no bottom back. Be sensible, be wise, and tune in for your own self rather than for the sake of following a program. The program is adding hand weights if you found that when you did this workout on Tuesday, it was relatively easy to attain, but you felt you got a good workout, but you felt, I could probably add a little bit more intensity. The weights will add more intensity, but they're no good if the weights simply land into your back extensors. That's lumbar spine and slightly up. Anyway, I'm going to allow you to lie down, so as you kind of get yourselves ready, lie on your back. I'm going to carry on just seeing who's in the room because it helps me to know who I'm teaching, and I can cue what I know you would do if I was present with you, all right? Those wandering into the room, you're using hand weights if you feel that you can use them wisely and not get it into your lower back. The hand weights need to land across the shoulder, not the front of the shoulder. Okay, people. So to get yourselves lying down for your start, as I'll repeat, it's a very similar workout because we want to rehearse. I would love to get to the stage where, for those following these videos during this lockdown, we just know how to go from position to position to position without there being a need of massive correction. Good morning, Ken and Thomas. I've said about hand weights, you use them wisely. If the weights land in your front shoulder or land in your lower back or hip, then you put them down. Hi Patricia. Everyone's getting ready to do the workout, lying on the back. I've got a head cushion for this opening section of the workout. I've checked my space, made sure I feel level from left to right. And because I'm going to use hand weights, I'm going to end it with my weights in the palm of my hand, fingers wrapped around them, and knuckles to the ceiling. While I get my breathing going, inhaling and exhaling is fundamental. And if you manage to do this deepening connection with the breath, you'll constantly, during this strength and endurance work, get a really good connection to trunk stability, okay? That's the breathing muscles giving you an abdominal stabilizing and oblique workout. So breath in and breath out, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Your pelvic shape is neutral. In being in neutral, you've got your natural curve of the lumbar away from the mat gently, unless I've told you otherwise. So some of you I've told always to be in an imprint. Here we go. Inhale as you prep. Exhaling, start to nod the chin, and as you pull the weights down forwards, your shoulder blades roll up, your nose to navel, and inhale, you roll back down again. Breathing out and breathing in. For this strength and endurance workout, we're doing the 10 reps, 10 reps, 10 reps for each sequence, or each position that I've chosen. You've got 10 here, which is the ab prep with weighted arms, chilled out shoulders, and you're already feeling the thoracic spine roll away from the mat as your breath out leads you up and the breath in rolls you down. Your chin nod, chin drawn in towards the throat, crown of the head reaching to the ceiling, is established. And increasingly you're able to work with the breathing. Remember, there can't be any load front of the shoulder in terms of feeling like impingement. It has to land through the armpit and into the back between the shoulder blades. 2 more then, breathing out to find your rolling ab prep and breathing in to return back down. Next time as you roll up, you'll stay and pick up your right leg. Now, keeping your right arm and right leg slightly floated, left arm continues this sequence as you lift on the breath out, keeping that right leg up in there in tabletop and maintaining connection with the ground on the left foot and the left back of the pelvis. Exhaling, you roll. Inhaling and return. Just 2 more. So you've got 5 each side, waking up and more oblique connection, that's more one-sided than the other, keeping it out of your neck. And then switch sides. Off we go again. Make sure the pelvic position is neutral as you curl up on the breath out, pulling that ball weight down. Find the obliques, resist any twists, and aim to be in your neutral, but your rib cage is closed against the ground for you people that tend to hollow away from the ground. Those that are lordotic, you need a gentle pelvic tilt, and those whose rib cage don't really get involved unless I stand on you, get your ribs down. We've curled and uncurled. Next time, curl and stay, and bring both legs up and place the balls down on the floor. Let the head go down and find your imprint of the spine. Your imprint is there, the palms of the hands are down against the floor. Good morning, K-Bota. Okay, exhaling then. Press against the weights and push your legs straight and curl up. Inhale, pull the knees in, keeping the weight of push and. Breathing out, chin nod, extend legs, thighs tight together. Inhale and rolling down. So you've got your rolling 100 shape. Rather than staying in the 100, we're keeping the flexing and the lengthening. Breathing out, pressing down against the weights, collarbones wide open, and in you 5 more. Nose to navel, remember. You have 3 more. I'm using the weights to help the connection with the ground, to make sure I don't lose my lumbar imprint, and it makes the top end of the obliques work harder. Last one. Pull your knees into your chest, put the weights either side, and over you come to your hands and knees. This activity, you'll just need one weighted ball. Straight into all fours then. Take the weight into the hand nearest the screen. Remember, hold the weight so that it's palm of the hand, and then we send the right leg out, let the left arm go out sideways, and breathe in and slide in. This is where you start to wake up your stability through the shoulder, obliques and pelvis. People have been asking about single arm work or side work. The only way you're going to improve your strength and endurance here is through this type of work, okay? I'm talking, but you can pay great attention to the grounder through the palm of the hand on the right, because my right leg's moving off and on, and the grounding through the shin on my left. Your rib cage oblique should get quite a workout as you send your leg out. If you're not breathing and you're simply limb loading, you'll find it in your lower back or your neck. If you're core connecting and like a good Pilates student, you'll be getting a total body workout of significance that will change you and train you to be stronger in your everyday life. All right, I was really only going to do 5-5 there, but I've done 10 because it's a great connection. Change sides then, and exhaling. Find your form. Breathe in and tap. Refuse to lock out either elbow. That's for the people that naturally have those overextended joints. Patricia Creamer, Helen McGee, and Lindsay actually. Lindsay, watch that shoulder. Oblique connect. Inhale. No movement of the pelvis in terms of the pelvic position stays true. And if you can physically straighten the leg that reaches away without it lifting too high, then you're getting a Pilates strength and endurance workout rather than just strength. And obviously my aim for you, for me, is it's Pilates alignment stabilisation, creating power for real life. And only the breathing muscles can join together those dots. It's your last one. Now, simply because this is the opening sequence, I didn't do too many there, the truth is, we're still going to do our all fours hovers. So exhaling, ground yourself, rib cage, lift, press the ground away and inhale, slow motion lower. Exhale, keep your chest over your wrists, keep the fingers spread. You need to know that the power of the breath out pulls the belly, the abdomen, away from your clothing. If you can't feel it happening, then it isn't happening. Both knees must land level as you lift and lower. If you lordotic, you have got a subtle tuck under, creating the equivalent of a flattened back. If you're more flat-backed and bendy at the pelvis, do not tuck your bottoms under so that you end up in some kind of misshapen posture. 2 more. And 1 more. And you're ready for standing. I'm going to take the weighted balls with me. Find your standing position. We're going to use the balls behind us. Have your feet level, balls behind you, so that your upper back stability system's already working. Collarbones are wide. Squatting and standing. Keep the balls reaching back. If you feel that you know where you are, the balls can tap the side of the thigh on the stand and pull the shoulder blades together as you hinge and squat. Inhaling, and in your opening squats, you need to ground through the heel outside of the foot, spreading then into the toes, and notice your journey down. It's quite interesting in squats. You think you're going down with absolute symmetry, but the body wavers from left to right fractionally. You've got another 5. Inhale down and exhale back up. In doing these movements slower, you're actually asking more of the body. 3 more. Inhaling down, shoulder blades do a gentle squeeze, the weights reach backwards into the ceiling. Last 1, and let that go. Take your feet wide. I'm not great at counting people, it should be 10 of everything. Now we're into sumo squats, so find Use first sumo squat. Our arms are going to be out and forwards. Again, your upper back, if you want to use the weights appropriately, then it's as though the upper back muscles pull your arms wide as your knees go over the middle toe, middle foot and back. Your shoulders don't want to round just because you're pulling your arms forwards again. Your arms will never go forwards to the point where the weights touch, and you should be able to keep your shoulder blades drawn down the back. The scapula not really moving as you're using shoulder stability. Inhaling, finding that open hip. Breath out, pressing the ground away. Inhaling to open. This is your last one. We're now going into the sliding and sliding, okay? So this is the push and pull of the ground. Put your weights by your hips. You should still be hinged at the hip as you go from side to side. You're pulling and pushing. The hamstring feels the workload. The lumbar spine is still in its neutral. As you lower, actually go horizontal plane. So if my arms were out, I'd be horizontal plane. I could be really cruel and slow it down and make you do some tiny, tiny arm circles. Okay? I'm not pushing up and down, I'm sliding horizontally, keeping a pelvic neutral, which gives me maximum exposure of hamstrings, and let that go. Bring your legs together, sequence. Here we go, find the squat. This is our split leg sequence. Reach your leg back, check that it's in the right place, and you've got your scooter, so you've got running arms. I'm setting my bottom down and back, and then tap and pull back. You know what? I do all this prep and I don't wobble anywhere. I get to do it live and all I do is wobble around the place. I've decided that wearing varifocals for doing a workout isn't the easiest way to feel stability. Inhaling and exhaling, crouching back, the back heel up, the front leg dominant, my running arms, or no weights, you've still got running arms though. Do two more. Front leg is the dominant leg. Stay down this time, and this is where we impress the deepening. So you've got what we call the end range. I'm keeping the load through my front leg, and we're amplifying the workout for the hamstring glute on that front leg. The heel weighted into the ground. The deepening bend backwards, diagonal alignment for 3, 2, and 1. Now, up and pick up the pace. This is the mountain climber. If you can pick up the pace without falling over or overly loading your back leg, you can keep your weights out of it if you want for 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. Welcome to your bottom. Find that squat, find your step back. Make sure you feel you've got your right range. The running arms as you tap and return. Tap and return. Make sure you try and come all the way up so that your range of movement is full range. Ankle stability, knee stability, trunk stability, breathing, and keeping the alignment. So you're learning how to position the body dynamically. In other words, there's constant movement and joint placement. Are you ready to stay down there? Stay down there. So we go deeper, staying with the attention on the hamstring and glute. This time my front leg is my right leg. Nothing impacting the knee. Everything in the long, strong hamstring group, side bottom, pelvic stability. 3, 2, no rounded upper backs, 1, and then you've got a tap, tap, tap. Keep it going for 4, 3, 2, 1. Standing ready for star. We should be well into the hamstring glute abductor. That's your star. I'm going to suggest the arms are forwards and arms wide. Alternate sides. Down on the inhale. Don't throw your arms too high. Inhaling, ground, and inhale. Reach the leg. Breathe in. Reach the leg. Keep the ankle stability by finding your pelvic stability. Obliques work harder when weighted balls are absorbed by the core. That means the breath has to work with the weight, absorbing it into the trunk. Okay, you ready for one side for 10? So we go 10, 9, 8, sit your bottom back, 6, stay leaning over, 5, 4, 3, reach, don't just lift and be sagging, control the legs, 2, and ready for your other side, taking the load, 1, inhale, 2, inhale, 3, and refuse to roll in at the ankle, that's 90% of the workload. Inhaling, push the ground away, lowering to a tap, press the ground away, 2 more, reaching open that body, 1 more, both sides of the glute system working hard, and let that go. Standing at the bottom of your mat, final sequence, find a squat. Exhale forwards, chin, roll down, leave the weights to one side, inhaling, bending the legs, and finding your plank. Breathing in, bend the legs, till you end up with your heels able to go down again, walking backwards, and breathing out, rolling, sequence 1. Inhale, find that squat. Breath out as you're rolling spine, without tucking under. The breath in is the lightweight walk as your body finds plank. Breathing out to stabilise and know the shape. Breathing in to push the ground away with the hands as the knees bend. And you take yourself with bent legs still, head hanging, remember. Use your heels to ground yourself. As you come up into your plank, that's 2. Inhaling and inhaling and push through the ground. Inhaling, come on, we can do this. Walk, 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 don't give up unless it feels too intense. Stop if you need to rest and join in. And this is the 4th one. Forwards flex. Walking, mobilising, stabilising. Holding, centering, and then bending, flowing backwards. All of this is trunk stability. And 5. Inhale. We're going to go a little bit faster. Exhaling, inhaling. Back you come. Exhaling. Find the measure of the connections. Hamstrings, glutes. 6. Plank. Walking back. 7. True squat. Rolling spine. Lengthening out, reversing back by bending the legs and returning back. 8, 1, we're in there. 2, don't knock out your limbs at any point. Okay, you ready for number 9? Inhale, breathing out, rolling, unstacking. Inhale, lengthening to walk. Exhale to stabilise. Inhale, bend, bend, bend. And exhaling, up you go. Now this last one we transition. So squat, forwards rolling spine, and find yourself in plank. Now, the final sequence here, I want you to go to your sides. We're going to develop, I want sides working better. So I've come with my front leg forwards and flat, my back foot behind but lined up, hand lined up with heels, and lift and lower. So we've got a bit of pivoting going on to try and educate you into how to do single shoulder. You're going to do 5 each side. Inhaling, and one more. Push into both legs. It's like a pyramid, isn't it? Then the other side. I'm switching out to keep you. The front leg is the top leg, and the heels into the ground. The back leg, side of the foot. Hand here, and other hand ready. Level with the knee. Breathe. Exhale, up. Rotation. Single shoulder, but you're assisting. Your armpit connects. Nothing goes into your neck, and the front leg is the dominant leg. Okay, if you want to know, both legs are grounding you, but your front leg, because it's the opposite to the arm, is the diagonal connection. And that was your last one. So you've just done your workout. You've now got a 60-second break. I think you'll agree with me, the weights do add to the intensity. Take a breather, take a drink of water, pull up your leggings, that's for Ken and Tom, ready for part 2. So part 2, that took us 22 minutes actually, interesting, so it's a very decent length of workout. Part 2 is, I was going to do 2.5, I'm going to do just one more part again, repeating maybe a tiny bit of speed because you feel connected. So the next part, good morning Nova, the next part, part 2, will add a little bit of pace, believing people that you really are using your breath muscles along with every position and finding that global power. So 2 or 3 more breaths. If I had water here I'd drink, but I haven't. It's at the front of the studio. Those of you, good morning Rachel, some people have tuned in like halfway through. What's all that about? That is like so half-baked. You should be here at the beginning like the rest of us. All right, so the start then of this whole sequence of strength and endurance, of which there are 6 parts, is lying on your back. Head cushions there for the preamble if you need it. And you're holding weights if you need to add intensity. The weighted balls, just give yourself another 10 seconds. You can count them if you want, but while you're counting that 10 seconds, the breathing muscles must let your spine be grounded. That sensation of spreading and lengthening behind you. You've got the gentle neutral curve, or you've got a very, very gentle imprint. Whichever works for you, whichever way it can't be in your back. Are we ready? Shoulder blades are drawn, appropriate neutral, and breathing out, the chin nods, and you let the weights roll you forward, staying in neutral heavy pelvis. Inhaling back down. Weighted arms, pull you down. Inhale. Another way of working with the weights, if it's struggling, is keep them so that they're just at the height of the thighs, and then when you curl, you're pulling them down lower, which might actually ground you better. So my suggestion would be, particularly if you've got the heavier weights, keep them forwards. Don't forget to pelvic floor, keep the heels heavy, navel to spine, resisting twist and chilling out of the shoulder. And 3 more. We're aiming for around 10, but I can't count. 2 more. And last one. Picking up the right leg. Inhale, the weight goes up and you go down. Exhale, now pull the weight behind that leg and lower it. Exhaling up and inhale out. You could bring both weights together if you want behind your thigh. Waking up the oblique area of the abs, refusing to round the shoulder, so keeping the rolling shoulder blade up without rounding the spine. And last time, changing legs. Other leg, and we go. Drawing the weights together behind without rolling away at the pelvic end. Your arms aren't being flung everywhere, people. They are moderated, they just slightly go wider. And the one that's coming across the body should give you more oblique. Exhale. Make sure you actually roll rather than just fling your arms. Last one. Pull the weights down to the floor. Get the palms of the hands on the weights. The weighted balls should be squishy. Thighs and pelvic position. You're in an imprint of your lumbar spine. And then exhaling. Roll up, press against the weight. Extend the leg, nose to navel. Inhale, watch the knees come in. And repeat. The chin nod, the nose to navel is fundamental. The pressing down on the weighted balls should allow you to get more rib cage oblique, imprinting more efficiently, and rolling shoulders. Exhaling. Inhale, fold back, breathing out. If you haven't got deep body heat at this point, then the evidence is you're not breathing. If you're not breathing, you're not core connecting, you're bracing, and you won't get the core muscles involved in this fundamental basic strength workout. Okay, last two. Look, the abdominal will go flat. Last one. And pull yourself up. Going straight into all fours. This is where we just use one weight, if indeed we're using the weights. We're going to do 5 each side on this. Taking the weight into one hand, I'm going to let my right leg go first and my left arm therefore. So the arm goes outside and inhale, return. Exhaling. Make the breath out happen. Remember the all fours position. The pelvic connection is pure neutral or straight spine. Those of you that are lordotic, watch out. There are a few of you in the room. And knowing where the knee comes that bends back in, if it doesn't graze the ground, the chances are you've twisted at the pelvis and you haven't kept a true pelvic stability. This is the last one. At which point, ready to change sides with the hand weights. Take your left leg out, make it straight. Make sure the arm reaches to the side if using weights. Inhale, tap. Exhale, keep pushing the ground away. You've got your all fours balance. Because we have 2-point connection to the ground, it activates the obliques if indeed you breathe, the armpit latissimus serratus area, and if you're using the handheld weight, the mid to upper back works harder so long as your shoulder doesn't drop and you don't lose scapular stabilized positioning. Inhale, we tap. Breathe out. Remember, it's a 2-point balance really. And let the weight go. Spread those fingertips, open that hand. Imagine you're doing a hand print. Pull the thighs together and you're ready for the hover and lower. Pull the thighs tight. On this set, let the head look down. Use the breath out ribs. Breath in. Breath out ribs, shoulders away from the neck. No locked out elbows. Pelvic floor. Lower abdominals, obliques from your armpit, and with the breathing rib cage, drawing it tight into the navel. You 3 more. 2 more. And last one. Here we go. Standing squats. Have your arms, reach them back out to the sides maybe. Make sure you're in parallel. Are you going to hinge? Arms go back and up. Remember, don't drop the chest. Do nod the chin in. Pull your shoulder blades together as your arms drift backwards. Inhaling, pressing through the heels, outside of the feet. And inhale, 5 more. Remember, it's a hinge squat. There's nothing new about this position. That's your position there. 2 more. Hinging. And last one. Upper back reaches and return. Take yourself one, give me your side profile just because it helps maybe some of the positioning. You're going to find your, when I teach this on Zoom, I'm surprised at how people aren't wider than their mat. Now some men don't have the range of movement around the hip, but the females that tend to not be too wide when they should be and could be, surprise me. Get those heels wide, because then as you go into your seated sumo, you'll open the muscles that make up your adductors, that's the inner thigh, and it'll help your hip mobility, range of movement. So you should be as wide as your body allows, and the weighted balls being pulled back by your upper back muscles, and the chest therefore coming open. The load stays with you, keeping to the outside of your foot, opening wide and closing. And this is your last one. I'm going to change my position for you as we end up into our horizontal slide and slide. It's as though my sit bones are reaching behind me as I push the ground away and then pull. If there's a roof above my head, I don't want to suddenly bob up against it. If you wanted your arms, they can close, open, close. They can stay closed. That adds load, hopefully into the side bottom, to be honest, along with the obliques. Whichever way, the ability to mobilise, pelvic stabilise, hamstring globalise is what this is about. And that was your moment. Bring the legs together. Ready for your lunges, split legs. I'm going to do the different leg first. So I've got my right leg forwards, my left leg back. I've found the lunge where it's a hinge everywhere diagonals. I've got my running arms as I step to stand and step back. Stand and back. If the weights confuse it for you, simply pop them down. Whichever way, the front leg is dominant. Don't drop the chest too low. And think of your upper arms staying by your side. Just try talking and doing this and wearing varifocals. It's not the easiest way. I make my excuses. Okay, people, go back and stay. Back here, check you are as you should be, and you're going to go down a bit and up. Now the front leg pulls you up and up. This amplifies the workload, the intensity in the hamstring glute on your front hamstring glute leg, okay? If the arms are confusing, leave them out of it. Now the final part here is what we call mountain climber, where you just get that tap and tap, tap and tap. There's little doubt the weighted balls can throw you off balance, but as long as it stays in your right leg hamstring glute, there's nothing wrong. Okay, right to the other side. That was a shocking example from your teacher. Find your squat. Take your leg backwards, finding the alignment, and then it's the runner's arms, isn't it, where you crouch down and up. The truth is, really, whatever you are or aren't doing, you want a stable pelvis, a level pelvis. You'll know it's level when there's no pain, and when, whilst the activity might feel intense, it's landing in the big muscles, which is your hamstring and glutes, and some of your quad. The knee joint shouldn't feel compromised, and nor should the hip. Are you ready? So we increase the range here, where we go up and up. This is more of a diagonal, so you can reach, push. You can keep your arms backwards if that assists you in finding a sweeter spot. I'm going to keep my arms backwards on this side. I've definitely got a wonky pelvis. 2 more. Can you see my diagonal line? Here to the ceiling last time. And now, tap. And again, for this side, this is the side I've had most surgery. Broken ankles, torn meniscus. I'm using both hands reaching forwards to counterbalance as I step up and up. So I've got symmetry whilst I move the leg, pushing against the ground, tapping. Last one, and let that go. Pop your weights down, folks. Your final sequence is here. Do it elegantly. Inhale the squat. Breathe out. Breathing in, the legs stay bent. You've got your walking to plank. Breathe out, stabilize. Breathing in, you've got your bending your legs, grounding your heels. Breathe out. You can get the pelvic floor to connect, all the better for you. Number 2, roll in. Walking light-handed, light-bodied into your plank progression and letting the legs bend as you take yourself back, breathing out, grounded heel hamstring to rolling spine. Number 3, are you ready? Use the inhale to lengthen to plank. Use the exhale to know it happened. Use the inhale to roll through. On the exhale. Number 4, squat. Feel the release. Enjoy the rhythm. Control the rhythm. Ground the feet to find the glute hamstring to roll back up. 5. Inhale down and exhaling. I'm going to keep us here, not because I can't do any more, but just because I want a bit more variety. Come to all fours. I'm going to do kneeling forwards and then single arms finish. Hover your knees and pull back and forwards. So I want the slide. You won't quite straighten the legs, but you can feel the action of the legs bending, the hip flexing and partial extension, yeah? No pain anywhere, easily achievable. More rhythm based than power, as the stability system's easier to activate. Now, let's take it to our single leg squat plank. I'm going to set you up more succinctly yet again. You have your front leg forwards. This is the last sequence, people, don't give up. Your back leg behind at level. Take yourself, hand here, up and stretch out the legs. I've got my shoulders slightly twisted if I need to, and I'm going to pull myself back, pushing through the armpit, and push myself forwards. It's the left, my front leg, that pushes the ground away as I pull from my under obliques. It's the side squat plank. Okay, so you've got your side squat, both legs bend, and extend. Armpit, shoulders. Now if you're struggling, just learn to lift and pull. Look down with the head, it might help. So that was the biggest feedback, was about the single shoulder work. I'm assuring you that everyone will improve if you adhere to the Pilates every other day and this strength work every other day. In 6 weeks, you will be amazingly able. Are you ready? Shoulder stability. Front leg is the top leg. The bottom leg behind. Find your armpit. Put your hand here to start with and find your plank. And then find your squat. Push the ground away. When you push the ground away, you push it with your armpit. The hand is connected. The front heel feels grounded as the inhale takes you down, exhale. Now that you know what you're doing, see what happens if you look at the hand that's helping you. That's the front hand. So the strength for single shoulder work originates with pelvic stability and then through the obliques. Inhale down, exhale. Inhale down, exhale, and allow that to be. Okay folks, simply for your benefit, pull your knees to your chest, lose any tension that's accrued during the actual workout. The feel of massaging from left to right of the sacrum, back of the pelvis. If you want to let your knees go over to the right, let the head look to the left, and then come back through centre and the other side. If there's been anything that kind of didn't quite go to plan, then right now would be that you're just easing the shape back to a better symmetry, giving the systems a little break, doing your cool down breathing, and that's all we have time for. Now that was a good 40-minute workout, people. We actually did it systematically, comprehensively, I believe, rather than just saying, do this, do that, do this. If you can get these moves under your belt so that they are there every time we request them from the body, we can do more and more and more. This lockdown, I believe, is going to go on and on. And it only makes sense for us to progress, but keeping it safe. If you can, continue with the Pilates series, along with the strength and conditioning series, then you will actually find yourself feeling, despite being locked down, quite open, strong and ready for life when it finally allows us to be out there. Okay, stay well. We will see you again tomorrow for TNT Friday. Wonder what that might hold. Let us know how you felt.